What's going on, everybody? I am Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. We're bringing you Prize Picks here with my partner Riaz. This is Wednesday night. It's 11 game slate. Unfortunately, the games for the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, I believe there might be a 9:30 game in there, maybe a 10:30 game late on the West Coast. But over here in the East Coast, it hasn't been released yet. Unfortunately, we're recording this at the halftime of the Lakers game. There hasn't been the lines yet released, but either way, we got a lot to look at here regardless, and some exciting games, honestly, that I'm looking forward to. So if you're new to Prize Picks, basically what Prize Picks is you bet over-unders for fantasy score or single stat DFS. We like to look at point totals, three-pointers made is a nice stat to look at. Rebounds gets a little iffy, and assists is not bad. And we got to kind of see how the free throws made go. Free throws made goes as the course of the season goes on with the new foul rules implemented. Whether they take them seriously or not, I don't really know. But there's a lot to look at. So we're excited, man. NBA has just started. You guys have been given, honestly, the best feedback so far on this channel was for the last Prize Picks video for the opening night NBA. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. So if you guys can keep up that same support, that'd be awesome. And Riaz is going to kick us off for the points. Who jumps out to you here, Riaz?
Kemba Walker does. This is his first year on the Knicks. He's going against his old team, the Boston Celtics. He's at 15 and a half. I think I think he's in a good spot here. He's going to be sharing the backcourt with RJ Barrett and I can't think of and Derrick Rose, who just signed a big contract to stay with the Knicks. But 15 and a half, I don't think that's much for him. We've seen him just absolutely score the ball with no problem at all. He's finally healthy. He's on a team where I think he actually wants to be here. The Knicks have a great young team, and 15 and a half is, I think, a little too low for him. So I'm going to take the over there.
Yeah, I think Kemba Walker's in a great spot in that backcourt. Obviously, he's going to be sharing some minutes with Derrick Rose there, but I think they like Derrick Rose coming off the bench as a nice spark, especially when things go a little bit stagnant. Hopefully, RJ Barrett takes a nice jump this year, but 15 is kind of fair. It's tough looking at the first you know kind of lines of the season, so we need to kind of get a feel for what's going on here. But another one that jumps out is Bradley Beal. Average 30, almost 31 last year. I'm a big averages guy, so if a guy's averaging something, if you're kind of betting on that 50% of the season, you're most likely gonna end up on top throughout the course of the season. So I don't know if I believe in the narrative of everyone's like, oh well, his averages might go down. He's got a newer team around him, but he had a ball dominant guy in Westbrook on his team last year, and he still kept up those averages. So I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie's going to cut into that so much. I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be a good part of this team, and I think he's going to have a significant role. But I think Bradley Beal, bottom line, is just a pure scorer, one of the best in the league. So I like his over there. And if this is your first time viewing with us as well, we don't really like to take unders. We talk a little bit of unders, but in terms of our actual bets that we put in, not too many unders go our way. We like to root, for the over, an exciting game. So just to let you guys know, we're kind of talking overs a lot of these too. Someone like Anthony Edwards in that Houston game looks like it's going to be a really high point total game. Kid's a stud, so we're gonna see what we get out of him. That's a fair line for him too. Kevin Porter has the potential. We've seen him go for 50 before in a game. So I don't know. I like Jalen Green, the line down there. He's had games in the preseason where he's put up 20 shots. I know it's just preseason; it's hard to judge off that. But it looks like he's going to be heavily involved in the offense. And obviously, there's no John Wall, nothing like that. So, they want to give the kid confidence off the rip. So they're just trying to build this young team. So I like him over 14 and a half. Anyone else, Riaz? I know some of these new Bulls, across the top here, DeMar, Alonzo, Vucevic, and Levine. Any of these guys jump out to you?
No, not really. Just kind of seeing that. I mean, if anyone there, I would probably go Lonzo. Um, it looks like his jump shot's gotten a lot better. I expect him to take a little bit more threes than he has in the past couple of seasons. But to kind of stay in the same Houston Minnesota game, D'Angelo Russell, 19 and a half. He is a spark. He can drive the ball, shoot threes. His mid range is unbelievable, and at 19 and a half, there's no doubt in my mind that he scores 20. 30 points in this high total game. Russell's just a great player just overall.
Yeah, so I think we didn't really get to see him flourish with this offense, really last year. I think it's just a matter of time before everything comes together. I kind of have high hopes for this um not necessarily high up, not playoff expectations, but I expect them to be pretty competitive in a lot of these games. This Minnesota Timberwolves team, Cat sitting at 24 and a half. I don't think he needs to score as much. I think 24, if he's going to get over, I think it's going to be like 26, 27. But I think it's just a matter of like, even someone like Malik Beasley can score the ball really well. And they got some scores, around him. And so we'll see. But I think that's a coin flip line. Julius Randle's at 22. Thibodeau likes to run those guys a shit ton of minutes, but we already talked the Knicks guys. Someone like Daniel Gafford just signed a big contract. Um, Not big for him, and I'm happy as a Wizards fan that we got him. He's a nice player. That front court is a little crowded. Montrezl Harrell in there now, so we'll kind of see how things unfold. But he's at a fair line too, if you want to look at that one. Scotty Barnes is a rookie for Toronto. He looks like he has high upside. But either way, we'll jump into rebounds unless you had someone else to talk about, Riaz.
No, I was ready to talk about one of my locks for rebounds.
Who's that?
Julius Randle, 8.5. We've seen him just grab every single board. No matter what, it seems like he always gets to 10, and at 8.5, that just seems way too low for him playing against his Boston team, who kind of has rotating centers. Julius Randle's kind of the guy in New York that is going to be the power forward. We know Mitchell Robinson is there for center, but even when he's out there, Julius Randle always grabs all of the rebounds.
Yeah, I like Randall there too. Like I said, someone who's just averaging 10. I understand it's an old season, but it feels like the season just left. So like we're already back here. So I don't expect to see too much changes out of this Knicks rotation in terms of the front court. But yeah, I like Randall here at 8.5. For some reason, it just switched back to points. Sorry about that. But rebounds are tough to grasp for a lot of these small guys too, like the point guards and shooting guards. It's kind of hard to judge. Like it's tough, man. I like to look at people who got triple double upside as well. If I'm looking at rebounds, but someone like Christian Wood is someone that sticks out a little bit too at 9.5. He's gonna get a lot of the run down there in the front court, and he averaged nine last year, but we've definitely seen him have high ceiling games of like 19 and 18. That was last year, but I expect him to play a lot of minutes, and I definitely can see him getting over here. But like I said, rebounds are just tough to look at. Why don't you just kick us into assists right here, Riaz?
Yeah, assists. These are. It's kind of another kind of like a rebound thing. It's nice to see if a center's at like two, maybe one assist. You might want to go on that. Nikolai Vucevic at 3.5. I mean, that might be one I'm kind of looking at in this new Chicago offense. He's got a ton of weapons to throw the ball around to, and Levine and DeRozan and Ball. So 3.5. I really don't mind that for his assists.
Yeah, that was one that jumped out to me, and I think he had um, a great description on that too. What you think. I think the offense is. I think it's gonna be a fast-paced offense, honestly, and I think that's a nice spot. They're playing against Detroit. I think they're gonna just kill Detroit. But I do think I think I can see him getting 4 to 5 assists there for sure. Um, Beal is about where he's at. I want to see what I'm gonna get out of this Toronto Raptors team before I start taking some of these guys. And Dinwiddie's not in a bad spot, but someone at the bottom too, like you're talking centers, like Towns is at 5 flat. He's got a lot of scores around him. He's got high usage guy Cat down there, so any little cuts to the basket, he can definitely hit those guys. He's a great passer, so like that's definitely I think a line that's not horrible, but I think that's one that you could definitely take a stab at in like a flex play. But like I said, assists are iffy. I wish we had the rest of the games. Like I said, I apologize for that. But what we got here is what we got. So we're giving you guys what we got, and 3 pointers made. This is a spot where
Oh, one more assist
yeah. Sorry,
guy
go ahead.
I want to touch on. Jalen Green. He's at 2.5 assists. Super low for a starting point guard, shooting guard. Um, I feel like Prize Picks doesn't really know what what he's really gonna do. This being his rookie year, but 2.5 for a point guard, even if it doesn't hit, I feel like it's kind of one of those things where starting point guard, you got to kind of take that.
Yeah. So I mean, I believe he's going to get most of the run at shooting guard tomorrow. But if Kevin Porter, I mean, I believe he's questionable. I'm assuming he's going to play, but if he is kind of limited there, I mean, he's probably going to get a little bit of the point guard run. So I think that's fair to assume that he definitely can get over that. No doubt, man. And D'Angelo Russell too at 7.5. If you're a fan of him, I definitely can see that happening as well. But 3 pointers made. I love 3 pointers made. I think you can kind of project this almost the best out of all the stats realistically. Just by guys who are just kind of out there to shoot threes. Really, that's their role. But there's a couple in here. They're all fair to relatively low. There's no like Curry on here that's at like 5.5 or 6. But is there anyone here that you like particularly?
Oh yeah, Bradley Beal sitting at 2. I know you're probably looking at that as well, saying how in the world is Bradley Beal only at 2.5, and that just seems way too low for the amount of 3 pointers he shoots. And I'll be taking that in a bunch of my flex and power plays.
Yeah, I think Bradley Beal. That's an awesome spot for him at 2. I think that's definitely a little low. Unfortunately, I know Beal is kind of dealing with like that, that knee stuff. I don't think it's gonna affect him too much. Coming up in this game, looks like the X-ray that he had on his knee came back negative, so I think he's gonna be fine for the opener. I don't know really. I got to look into that a little bit more, but we talked about it, yesterday's video. If you're going for NBA and you're projecting a guy to be at a lot of points and they're a prolific scorer, you got to assume that they're going to be hitting threes too. So someone like Caldwell Pope is out there to shoot threes in that offense. I'm assuming it's going to be fast-paced offense for the Wizards. I think that's a fair spot too. Just two of them. I'm not really liking really any of the Knicks guys in terms of threes. I know Kemba, that's a decent spot for him. But even like someone like Scotty Barnes, who should play a significant amount of minutes at just a half. Um, I mean, that's not bad, really. I mean, none of these are super flashy or sexy that I'm just like loving off the rip. But Levine at 3, he does shoot a bunch of them, but he was shooting a bunch last year when he was like the only guy. So anyone else, Riaz, go ahead.
No, not really. I was gonna touch on the Burns, and I don't really know too much about this guy, but whenever you can get somebody at a half, I mean, man, just make 1 3 and it hits.
Yeah, I know, for real, man. I mean, I'm excited to see what we get out of this Toronto team. I was expecting to see some Gary Trent Jr. lines. I'm actually kind of upset there isn't any. I thought he was going to be a big part of this offense. Maybe Malachi Flynn too, somewhere in there. Um, but we'll see, man. It's definitely going to be exciting, and especially that Hornets game and the Hornets and the Pacers is nowhere to be found on this right now, and that's one of the early games. So I'm surprised, really. But stay updated. Especially stay updated on the Twitter. So we can show you some of the lines, and as things adjust and as things shift, we'll upload what we're looking at for flex plays and power plays. So if you want to check out over there, that would be awesome. And unfortunately, like I said, I wish we could have had all the games, but either way, target some of these games. There's some solid lines in these games. If you got anything to say, Riaz, go ahead.
Yeah, just two plays. I just want to point out before we end this. Vucevic over 2.5 foul shots made, and oh, I just lost it. And Anthony Edwards over 2.5 foul shots made as well.
Yeah, honestly, a category. I mean, I skip over this category. Some of you guys might be fans of it, but like I said, some new rules that we want to see play out a little bit. But I like the front court guys in terms of free throws. They get banged up down there, and Edwards, I think he's going to play like 36 to 38 minutes. I definitely can see him hitting over that too. So good analysis, Riaz. If you guys like our picks, let us know in the comment section below. You guys have been awesome to us, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.